Welcome, welcome, welcome. I was gonna say Bună venit. Um, so Miss Raffle winner. Um, I hope to see you in Cosmos this Sunday, 2:30. You were such an amazing light. The one time you came, and it would be very sad. One second, I'd be very, very sad if I don't see you again. Because some people, they come once and they have an amazing impression. I need to just change out these shorts. They're getting a little bit sweaty because I've been sitting and doing readings for a minute. But I can still talk. But yeah, like it was such a joy having you. Like a lot of people really, I mean, not that I talk at Run Cosmos, but I could tell that you really fit in. And it's this Sunday at 9:30 Romanian time, and I think a lot of people will show up. We have some potentially like the best new. I don't want to say best, but if like the quality of people who have joined like in the last few days is unbelievable. Some people you probably know their Instagrams, like really, really powerful people, and it's going to be very good. People who know a lot of things and who are very diverse. So anyways, let's go ahead and make sure that I hide all of your last name. Not that with the whole way Romanian. So I'll just say this Dana. Okay, so you have 7 a.m. birth time, so I know how it works in Romania. It's like, it could have been 7:08, could have been, we don't really know. So we have to kind of just like understand that. I've heard this start my timer. So yeah, a complicated chart, a very complicated chart, just like from first glance. We got the sun in and the rising in Cancer. In my system, it is a first house sun. In the Placis coach systems, it would be a 12th house sun. I'm gonna speak on both of them. I just felt the intuition. I'm guided, when I do readings, it's all download. A lot of it is download based. And I'm in a really good flow right now. It's 10 a.m. You probably got up 2 hours ago to start your day. I haven't slept because I am a savage and I just don't give a shit. And then when I get on a roll, that fire part in me is just like, let's just keep going, bro. You have a ton of readings. Just keep doing it. You're doing a great job. So yeah, and you have that fire too. You have that Leo too, so you understand. But yeah, so basically, having like sun in the first house versus sun in the 12th house, I mean, it's very different, but like regardless, the thing with fixed signs in Placis is that regardless, you have 12th house energy. So, just really quickly, like sun in the 12th house, it can be very, very spiritual where you have to kind of give your life to service, and it's conjunct Chiron, the sun. So, obviously like this life, you're meant to be a healer. Actually screw that. I'm going with my system. But yeah, just know that because the 12th house, like whole sign and Placidus, they end up saying it's like two different highways to get to the same place, right? That's the way I look at it. So the fact that the sun is in Cancer, very emotional Cancer, and the moon's in Leo, conjunct Chiron, the sun, there's definitely like some pain in the childhood. And you spend a lot of your life kind of trying to overcome that. A lot of times, well, it's interesting because it's in Cancer, which is like the mothering, but it's the sun, which is the father, so it could be both parents. One second. I just started consciously, I decided the other day, I was like, I'm going to start doing the Swedish, like chewing tobacco. Like sometimes I'll like have like random like tobacco stints, and I'll just like do it for a few weeks and just quit. Like I never get addicted to it. It's like a superpower, I guess. So yeah, in essence, having this Chiron on the sun, your life is around healing. And after you heal yourself, you're able to heal others. And the wounds are very family oriented. They're based on like the fact that as a Leo moons are very, oh shit, I have to move to my desk because my battery and my charger, I keep buying new chargers for this computer of mine, this beautiful computer, but these chargers keep freaking stop. They just like don't work. I plugged it in. Nope. It's not charging. I have to like have my AirPod case underneath it. Unless I can find a different solution where I can still leave it on this little thing. Let's see what I can do. Oh, did I figure it out? I think I did. With a bottle of Visine. Somehow, let's hope it stays. Anyways, so yeah, Leo moon, it requires lots of attention, and I am getting, the sense with the fact that it's square Pluto, your moon, that, there's a kind of traumatic energy with the mother, and that you didn't receive, Leo moons, they require lots of attention, and lots of love and encouragement. And, you probably didn't receive that when young. So, you add the square with Pluto, and it can create like a very dark energy with emotions. It can create an energy where, and by the way, I go back and forth between showing my face, and sometimes like I'll like have it in this mode just so I can like sit back and close my eyes and meditate and just like kind of like have the chart in my brain and just speak from, like, it helps me like just like speak from pure intuition. So that's what I'm doing right now. So with moon square Pluto, I often talk about it like as the most challenging aspect in all astrology. Some people say it's the opposition. I think like they both are really difficult. But the square especially, it's more of an internal struggle, while the opposition is more external. So it can really complicate the emotional self, and kind of make it so like you really meet your shadow, and you can be a very like moody person, like someone who you're born in what year? A year before me. So you've gone through the Saturn turn. But yeah, so you're probably like starting to kind of really move into your power. But like, moon and Pluto in a hard aspect is very difficult, right? It's lots of like extreme mood swings. Potentially maybe you had that still going on. Maybe that's like why you haven't made Cosmos. I don't know. And like the emotions can swing to extremes, and you just like out of nowhere, and you're just like, what the fuck? And you're basically in this constant place of like death, rebirth, transformation, like in as it regards like the emotions, right? Like your emotional nature, and a very, very intense person emotionally, right? Lots to unpack. But I've seen you before, like we've had a session, so I know your energy is very bright. You're like a light, so you've probably done lots of work. But yeah, like it can create like kind of like almost like trauma with like the mother, and like sometimes it's like a very toxic relationship. where, you're constantly, because it's the moon, it's unconscious, like it can be very difficult to understand, like, where is this darkness coming from. But yeah, it's this constant meeting of the 1 second, I need to charge this thing, this external hard drive. So yeah, it can make one like in a constant battle, it seems like, right? Like battle with like their own emotions, with their own 1 second, sorry. One second. One sec. Okay. So yeah, it's like this constant confrontation with your own shadow, like a potential power struggle, with like where you felt like that early kind of process of growing up, like it was like always like a battle, so it's very, very difficult. You feel things extremely deeply. It can be very hard to keep emotions in control. There can be like paranoia, like melancholic tendencies. And a lot of times it refers to like, having like PTSD in some form, right? And funny how I'm doing a reading for a double cancer and my cancer baby just crawled up on my lap. So yeah, a lot of times it's like a very like dominant, controlling mother who can even try to manipulate you. Sometimes like there's like jealousy like from the mother. And yeah, it's just like the ultimate like aspect of someone who's like here for a very special purpose and who's really trying to like confront their own shadow and also fix karma. It can make someone emotionally destructive, and there can be like on a lower vibe, like kind of like emotional manipulation, jealousy, paranoia, like when it comes to like relationships and stuff. And yeah, there's definitely like a huge need for like this ongoing healing with the childhood basically. And Pluto in the 5th house, it speaks to this like how, with all your Leo, including that's Aquarius like mine, but like with all this Leo, like it's a very like special lifetime in terms of like you finding like that inner child and that creative outlet or whatever it is, like you feel like this lifetime has like a very special like creative purpose for you in your process of individualization, becoming like your highest self. And that's like a very tough roadblock to have. Now the moon in Leo, it conjuncts Venus, so that's going to add like lots of kind of that's a very, very good one. It can make one like very, kind of like have like a very lighthearted personality, very artistic, very affectionate. So it kind of like takes away some of that difficulty. And then, Moon also conjunct Mars, that can make someone very like, it's very good for health, first of all. And it just makes someone very like resourceful, and someone who is able to act on their emotions, so in your case, like with like the shadow work that needs to be done, like to be able to act on that. And being a Leo moon, there's an emotional need to express yourself, emotional need to like be in touch with that inner child, and that authentic self-expression, and not really the throat chakra, but really like getting in touch with the heart chakra, and with the Mars there, it's actually really helping you do that. So very powerful. And it's 11 degrees, 11, right? So Mars and Leo can also be very prideful. It can be very, how do you say it? It can, Leo energy in general can be quite stubborn. Mars and Leo is a very assertive energy, but you also have Mars square Pluto, even closer than Sun square Pluto, and you have Venus square Pluto. So your Pluto is really afflicting your chart. So and you're approaching the age where you'll have that opposition, or that first Pluto square Pluto, which, let's see, it would come. Oh, it's come already. Wait, hold up. It'll come when Pluto's in Aquarius, around 12 Aquarius. That's when you'll feel that, and that's like a very like a time where like a lot of the kind of like you'll face a lot of this again, right? A few more years though. But yeah, like so with the Mars square Pluto, that's just like the volcano, like volcano of volcano, like eruptions, right? People who have Mars square Pluto, they absolutely like there can be some trauma, some sexual trauma, sometimes, not all the time, and Chiron in Cancer, yeah. So there's definitely like an energy where like you like it can create a very combative nature, right? And someone who's stubborn and who's like very like unhappy when they're like forced to like accept new conditions, and also it can create like a very obsessive personality, right? And just I think of it as like volcanic eruptions. That's like the best word to describe it. Also, it can create lots of conflicts like within yourself that can become dangerous to yourself, especially when you become angry. Like there can be like big time anger issues. So there's a huge need to learn to like express anger in like a positive manner. So yeah, like working out, like sweating it out, having something physical that you're doing. It's also like very, very sexual, it's like one of the most sexual placements. But yeah, so that's very important. Like specs, sports, sex, or like some type of creative outlet are super key with this. And yeah, because there are other like volatile parts of your chart, like it's like the ultimate like need to like meditate and ground yourself and like learning to like master yourself. Like that's really what it's asking. Do you have any Earth inner planets? I don't see any. So there you go. Having no Earth, I have no earth either. It's like this constant battle to be grounded and to balance yourself and to kind of show up every day as the same person, which can make it very, very tumultuous and like just like this difficulty of you know like of showing up each day as the same person because of these mood swings. And so anger, luckily you don't live in America, you live in Romania, where anger is able to be expressed, right? So that's very important to find. Like, there's a book called Nonviolent Communication that I think everyone should read, and it really goes into like kind of ways to communicate your feelings in like a way more constructive way. And yeah, so also like a lower energy, it can create like the master manipulator, and yeah, it can bring lots of conflicts. So a lot of times people have this, they have like a need, especially with the fire moon, a need for anger management. Maybe that's something that you overcame or constantly deal with. I read charts the same way. If you were 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, like I just read the probabilities. So then with the Venus square Pluto, which I have as well, that relates more to like love, right? Well, also self-love. So people who have that tend to, until they find that self-love, they tend to go for like the really like dangerous types of partners. They feel their shadow a lot, like within like close, like usually romantic relationships, partnerships, and it just like speaks about like how like the intensity of the feelings are so strong, and it can be like obsession, and this like power struggle in relationships, right? And like I have this too, and like I think I got over it. I got like when you become aware of it, you're able to overcome it, right? So also, before I go any further, I want to say that there's no such thing as a good or a bad chart in astrology. There's a reason that you won the raffle, because you have a difficult and very challenging chart. There's no such thing as a bad chart. There's positive manifestations for all of these. And with the two I mentioned before, Moon square Pluto, like, can create like this incredible like leadership power and like emotional power, if that makes sense, right? Like where through your emotions you're able to like manifest and transmute and just get past anything, because you've been through probably so much, and you're still you're still here with a smile on your face, and it's a beautiful thing to see. But with the Venus, yeah, it's like until self-love is found, those partners are attracted, and it with the Leo moon and just the Leo energy, it's like it takes a very like patient kind of partner, very empathetic kind of partner, who can empathize and kind of understand this complexity that you have, this tendency. Let's drink some water. Yeah, so this like complexity, and yeah, like communication is extremely important in relationships. Now with the Venus, like more about that, yeah, there can be lots of like kind of like difficulties that come from love, and it's just like when it's coupled with all these other aspects, it can just create, you, like I said, you meeting your shadow in that realm of love. And I'll show my face again. And it's all related to self-love in the end, right? Because Venus, not everyone knows this, Venus represents self-love. So that is like a massive thing. Now, once that's resolved, it doesn't just go away per se, but it like the awareness of it makes someone able to really kind of move mountains with their like in their love life. Like there's always going to be like lots of passion and intensity in that area of life, but like the key is to get past, because like the lower vibe is like there's like this deep fear, maybe from like something related to like abandonment, or like subjective abandonment. And yeah, there's just this like extreme intensity of your feelings that not everyone can kind of like pick up on, right? And you can fall in love like very, very fast and very deeply. And sometimes it can be like overbearing and like too intense, especially when you're young, right? But yeah, it's all about like transformation. Like your whole chart is about like death, rebirth, and transformation, letting these patterns kind of die down. But like the negative stuff with this one is around like the need to gain total control of the relationship. Like I said, like where you like the person, if they lack that self-love, they can feel like they're not worthy enough, and they can feel like they need to like go like do whatever they need to do, like Machiavelli style, like to make sure that person doesn't leave them. And it can be like possessiveness, guilt tripping, all that stuff, manipulative behaviors, and almost like the energy of like forcing someone to love you, which obviously doesn't end well. So yeah, lots of drama in that area of life typically. But like the thing is, it's like through these really intense relationships that you gain that self-awareness of whatever behaviors there are. And then because you have all this power, right, that I've already seen and felt, you're able to like transform how you give and receive love, right? Both of them. And like lots of people who have this, and I have one of my best friends who has this, and she's really going through it. The painful truth is that it's always been, always will be about self-love and how you value yourself, right? So once that is acquired, that's when everything comes to you, right? That's when like that unconditional love, these amazing relationships and all that just arrive. Yeah, so that's kind of that one. Let's see. So then your sun has its own aspects. Opposite Neptune and opposite Saturn. So that typically sun opposite Saturn speaks to like some form of like daddy issues or issues with a dad. Maybe like a really strict father figure, where you being like this very like is there any Aquarius in your chart? No, it's Gemini. And Leo in general, like just being this person that like really wants to shine. Like I know in Romanian culture, like sometimes when people, like one member of the family wants to kind of break past tradition, which your North Node Aquarius is all about doing that, right? There can be this pushback, from the family. And in this case, the father, it's like, as a Cancer sun, you want to shine in that Cancerian way. And with Chiron conjunct the sun and Saturn opposing it, it just speaks to like lots of like pain, which is a huge part of your identity, is like being the wounded healer, right? The ultimate wounded healer. And then with the opposition with Saturn, it doubles down on that, and it makes it very, very hard to, should I try again, go into my little meditation trance. It just makes it really, really hard to like, to trust, to be vulnerable, and like there can be like this like inner critic in your head, right? Like if there was like a very strict father figure, and lots of obstacles. So like your Saturn return must have been a time of like amazingness, like just where you felt this like intense weight lifted off your shoulders, and yeah, like lots of disappointments and obstacles, and like kind of like this need to like overcome this these feelings of like not being enough or inadequacy, right? So yeah, it's a rough one for sure. And then with Neptune, there we have an energy that's a little bit different, right? Because Neptune is about confusion. And what that can do is that can create like unbalanced emotions. It can make one like very susceptible to like defeat, and when it comes to love, being like kind of tricked into like the love or any area of life, kind of like having this like paranoia, like, can I trust this person? Or like real fog also around like you understanding yourself and seeing yourself clearly, right? Also like a certain vagueness of the mind, even though it's not Mercury, which Mercury is square Uranus. So you have every outer planet in a hard aspect. That's crazy. Yeah, you have one of the harder charts I've ever read, to be honest, or one of the more like difficult charts I've ever read. So like crazy how you're able to. Like be in the one time I've experienced you, like such a bright light. It's like crazy. It's like so inspiring. So going back to Jesse. So yeah, like with the Neptune, what else can I say about that? Yeah, so just like it can make someone like just very paranoid, and also it just makes you like such an empath, right? Already as a Cancer, you're an empath, but like you just pick up on like it's like a double-edged sword where you just pick up on all the energies, like where you live, the people you surround yourself with. It's so important, right? And boundaries need to be created. This is what happens when you don't have Earth. Earth is what boundaries are about, right? So someone who lacks Earth in their chart, they can lack boundaries. They can lack, that ability to create boundaries around people that aren't good for them. But overall, it makes someone like very sensitive, caring. There can be like inferiority complexes, and sometimes there can be like outer projection that's more confident, but like within there can definitely be like some some complexes around like not being good enough and stuff. And what's interesting here with all the moon aspects is that this one with like the sun opposite Saturn, that can talk about like depression, melancholy, and especially with like Pluto, moon square Pluto, like man, you have like literally like like in my like difficult aspects, like the posts I do, like you have like all of them or a lot of them, right? So like it just speaks to like how advanced of a soul you are, and like how you really like picked like very, very heavy karma to deal with in this lifetime. So yeah, like what I was going to say is that there's a tendency to kind of shy away from conflict, right? Because there's this very sensitive ego that, like, is so empathetic and is so compassionate. It's like a sponge for energy, right? So yeah, like you can be very susceptible to any kind of like anger or aggression. Like you'll really feel that and hold on to it, right? And sometimes even like with energy in your chart, you can be the kind of person who like holds on to shit that's like emotional shit and energetic shit that's not yours. And there's a big like from your parents or even probably from like generations. Like this is the kind of chart of the person who's like meant to break like the family like generational curse, like, right? And I get a lot of clients that have that role. But yeah, so sometimes like someone with this opposition, like they want to avoid the conflict, so they can use things like deception, lies, whatever it is, like it can be to like avoid like the ego battles, I guess you could say, right? But overall, like Moon and Neptune is just like this ultra like dreamer, imaginative kind of Piscean energy, a Piscean chart. And like there's this deep need for like this creative outlet, which I said before and I'll say again, right? And yeah, there can be lots of worrying, discouragement, and what's really important is that like so like when you go through these like really emotional times, like maybe like very clouded times or 11/11, where you go through these like very like cloudy kind of like emotionally like confusing times, there can be like a feeling like to want to escape, whether it's like drugs, alcohol, whatever it is, like some kind of like unhealthy escape. But you with the Neptune, you'll be way more susceptible to like addiction and a lot of people, like clients of mine who had this type of thing, like I tell like like when they, if we have a follow-up or we talk after, they'll be like, yeah, which I would love, by the way, like if you would like give me like a write-up and a homework assignment. I don't like the voice messages. It's just like, just in general, I just post about that really hard. It's just like I can read like and like, yeah, voice messages can just be too much for me with all the messages I'm getting these days. But yeah, like that's really important to take, to not go that route and to find a healthy escape. Also, it makes someone like a naturally suspicious person, like as a defense mechanism, but in relationships that can obviously play out in like difficult ways, like fear of being taken advantage of. But also it's like, this very like this energy of like really like want like you could be like the person who like takes in all like the stray cats, or like who like helps the homeless, or who really wants like, because like the key to like charts like this is like to be of service, because through that service, which your North Node in Aquarius, right, you start to feel that oneness. You start to feel that divine oneness, and it actually like literally breaks through a lot of this difficult karma. So whether that's your job or something you do on the side, like just like being of service, and even like in Cosmos, you're of service, right? It doesn't. It's not like when I tell people this, I'm not telling them like leave your day job and start like giving your life to charity. It's like, it's important to give back as much as you can, Also, with this energy, sometimes in love, it can create someone who can like over idealize and just like be the person who sees the potential, but not necessarily, like kind of like the rose-colored glasses in love archetype, where like everything's good, like where they're like almost trying to like save like this person that can't be saved. And when we combine that with like the Pluto squares, the moon and Venus especially, and Mars, it can be people who are unsavable, really. And with the Leo, that's like the ego, right? So there can be like this feeling of like, I can do it, So yeah. But like really, like it gives you lots of spiritual gifts. And mastering, these spiritual and creative gifts is like, one of the best ways to kind of see yourself more clearly. Like that compassionate, idealistic side of you is a strong point, and it can really, really lead you to a fulfilling life. So yeah, like learning to like really express yourself in some type of way, whether it's journaling, poetry, filming yourself doing videos, whatever it is. So then we have, I mean, just in general, like, Venus and Leo and Mars and Leo on their own, they want to be very like proud of their partner. They want to have partnerships where there's like a level of inner childness, like where it helps you get in touch with the inner child, right? And also water. So didn't have enough water today. It's very evident at this moment. But yeah, like very, very important to do that. And yeah, in love, it's an energy where you like you really want to be very proud of your partner. You want like relationships that on both sides there's like there's like a certain level of fairness, and where you receive that love and that admiration that the Leo moon craves so much. But cancers, what can happen when they get hurt once or whatever is that they can crawl back into their shell, and as a Cancer ascendant, a lot of times it can be a little bit more shy, a little bit more reserved. So, definitely a need to kind of like learn to trust again if you've been hurt, which can be easier said than done for sure. Let me see. And yeah, like overall, like having like Sun in the first house, in general is just like a very like someone who's very independent, very self-sufficient, who's very adventurous, who, wants like entrepreneurial, pioneering. And once they get past like the difficult parts of the chart, they want to become a healer. They want to become someone that like genuinely like has their own unique way of helping and save the world, help save, different individuals who may be going through traumatic stuff of their own. And your midheaven's in Aries, so I would imagine that you would, like to be someone that works for yourself, who likes to be like pioneering in whatever field you choose. And yeah. But So with the love stuff, Juno is in Virgo, so that's in the third house. So that's like kind of your ideal partner. And I think of that as like energy of like wanting that person who's like very, very consistent, right? You don't have to think twice about like who about them like cheating or deceiving you. Like just a very, very consistent person, who is understanding and really honors and feels into like and is curious about understanding you and what you've been through and all that stuff, right? I told you this is one of the most challenging charts in like many charts in my life. This is definitely one of the most challenging ones, which of course like is the synchronicity of why you won the raffle. So also like communication is very important in relationships. Third house, you want someone who you can communicate freely with, communicate in a way that's where there's no fog. Like there's a certain accuracy in the communications, right? Like where there's nothing like where you're able to talk about all the little details, right? That's like really important. Now, of course, relationships will be intense. I told you that. There, can be drama filling them. But overall, that can be channeled into just hardcore passion, right? And like with Mars and Leo, it's very, very confident energy, right? Sometimes it can make someone a little bit narcissistic in the sense, not like a narcissist, but like a little bit like self-promoting, and yeah, kind of give this like very legal energy to them, right? And shining bright like a diamond. Also, it's very good for like having Mars in a fire sign, even if it's square Pluto. It when it gets resolved, it can give you this volcanic power that's like pushing you towards your goals, right? And it's very good for assertiveness. You have to watch out for being bossy with this energy, right? And also like dramatic stuff like that. And in love, like you're not going to be interested in anything that doesn't like light your fire. Doesn't like there has to be like a level of goofiness and funness and fun. Like inner child is what Leo is, and also like like passion and adventure, right? But yeah, like a lot of times the Mars and Leo person, like they have this like very contagious warmth. And God, I keep trying to put my FLUX on to make my screen less shiny. It's like hurting my eyes. 1 second. Where did it go? Where is FLUX? I don't know if you know what FLUX is, but it's a thing you download. It comes with some computers, and it basically just like dims the light, the computer light, and it's just way like it changes the colors, and it's way easier on the eyes. And I've been staring at the computer for a long time today, so very important. But where the hell is it? Why is it hiding from me? Where are you? Here. I just minimized it 2 seconds ago. Okay, I found it. Will it open? No. ¿Dónde este? F locks. Oh, I see. It's down here. Shit. Oh, okay. Control Alt Delete. Give me option. Oh my god. Whatever. We move on. So yeah, like it can be, yeah, like bossy in love. It can really value like looks. And there's definitely like a work hard, play hard energy. And yeah, like attracted to like very regal lovers that make you look good and that like bring a sense of play to life and also like to the sexual area. So yeah, it's like usually in relationships, like you would be like the leader. And then with like Venus and Leo, it's kind of similar, but it's more about how you value Venus and Leo. They can really value luxury and the nicer things in life. They value their ability to be very creative and like be kind of bold, in their way, and especially in love, right? They can be very loud, like with grand gestures in love, right? Like it's like in America, like NBA games, sometimes there's people who like that in like professional basketball games, there's like sometimes people who like propose on like the Megatron at the stadium. Like that's like the most Venus and Leo move ever. And right now, where is Venus? Is Venus and Leo right now? One second, let me check. Nope, still in Cancer. But when Venus enters Leo, in about what, 3 weeks or so, it'll be a great time for you to, especially with this new moon, right? And Leo, it could be like really like a new beginning. So there's definitely a synchronicity with me giving you this reading, like right, you'll probably receive it like right, we're 5 degrees, a few hours away from the new moon. You'll probably receive it right at that time. But yeah, like Venus and Leo can be a little bit demanding also in love. Um, they don't want, they want loyalty. They don't want like a lover who like, is looking all over the place, and they really like give their lovers like a level of warmth and confidence. And they have that in themselves as well. That's like the Leo energy. So very playful energy. Like some people with Venus and Leo, they'll think like that they are like insecure, but like other people will see them as like very like regal and the opposite of that, right? So another thing that like Venus and Leo, Leo is a very sensitive sign. Not everyone knows that. And they can have like with your, especially with your Cancer energy, there can be like a hard time bouncing back after a breakup, especially when it like really like gets down to those deep wounds. It can really make that person like the crab crawl back in the shell, as I was saying before. It's the whole Cancer thing. It's like it's the crab, and when it gets hurt, it crawls back in the shell and has a very hard time trusting again. So yeah, like when Venus enters Leo, it's definitely a time to shine. You make new friends or start a new love affair, and that's coming, you know. And even with this new moon, so like Venus and Leo, like it's kind of like, you know, with the Venus moon, it's like there's this like this energy of like wanting to be admired, you know, wanting to have the royal treatment. Like there's almost like this competitive edge when it comes to love with Venus and Leo. It's interesting. It's like more for the men. Like a man, like I've known like men with Venus and Leo, and they're like really like caring about being seen with like the hottest girl, like, you know, that kind of thing. Mm, Also, it can, you know, make one, yeah, really care about their appearance. Um, and yeah, really, it's almost like the love can like love affairs can like feel like they're like you're like starring like in like a tragedy, the love tragedy movie, you know. So yeah, and in terms of friendship, you know, you'll be drawn to like very like colorful, interesting people, who also believe, you know, that everything is possible. And yeah, very social energy and very creative. Um, so one things that will really turn Leo Venus off are people who like play the victim. Um, like confidence is a must. Um, but also just like that energy of like, you know, being able to have fun and being able to let your guard down, or the other person be able to let their guard down and just be goofy and stuff, right? Um, so yeah, like really, yeah, yeah, Venus and Mars and Leo, like you want to be treated like royalty, you know, you really want to be like get that amazing treatment. And it's in the second house, so all this energy in the second house can relate to like money, you know. Venus there can be good for that. Mars can make you like really go towards that. It's money, but it's also like self-esteem, right? But the moon can make it go up and down. So with your south node in Leo in the second house, I think that like um in past lives you've maybe been too much about that money, too much about like that kind of status and that kind of like here in the material world type energy, right? And this life with the north node in the eighth house, you're really here to like transform. You're really here to like to go through like that whole death, rebirth, and transformation in a very Aquarian way, which is like giving yourself, like giving away the me instinct to the we instinct, and really being there for the collective, right? And there can be like a lot of struggle between like the demands of the ego and like what the world's asking from you. Um, and it's no surprise your North Node is in the eighth house with all the Pluto energy, because it's like a karmic quest to learn self-control and learning to like let go basically and surrender, and to get deeper and deeper into like spirituality and all that stuff. So yeah, like placing like a like a higher value on spiritual values and So besides that, you also have a lot going on in your seventh house. So I'll show this to you because I know you're interested in astrology, and like I always say, like a lot of my clients are more visual learners. So with Uranus, so it's in Capricorn, so that the descendants, so that speaks, one sec, water. So that speaks like to, that consistency, kind of that Virgo energy I was talking about. Also really wanting to like be proud of your partner, which is similar to kind of Leo energy. Someone who's who's going towards something, whether it's their career or just their life in general, who's very like determined and very and with Neptune, with all the outers there, Neptune, Saturn, and Neptune or Uranus, it's a very interesting energy how those three combine in the seventh house. Because in essence, like the Uranus is going to make you really want to still keep your freedom and individuality, which is another thing with Leo, right? Having that much Leo is like you're going to want to still be able, and with first house sun, to still be able to like keep that individuality, that sense of self within relationships and partnerships. The Saturn in the seventh typically restricts like the more serious, like really like good relationships until after the Saturn return. So you pass that. So maybe, it's Leo season. Maybe there's something coming, or maybe you have a partner. I don't know. And Neptune there is it goes back to what I was saying before about having rose-colored glasses in love, and potentially like playing too much of the role of the nurturer, the person that's always there, that's giving people second, third chances, ignoring red flags, that kind of stuff, right? I'm gonna get up and walk a little bit. Sometimes that helps me with these readings when I'm like sitting for too long. So yeah, all those combined, you can see how like it's a very specific type of partner that would work for you, right? It's not just like your everyday person. So yeah, that's key to know. But yeah, I really look out of those three at the Neptune, because I mean the Uranus too, because like Uranus sometimes it can in the seventh house it can make, if things are too clingy, like where you feel like you don't have that individuality, you're losing yourself, relationships can kind of start to feel like a prison, and like where you just want to escape it, you know what I mean? And Neptune, like, yeah, like you just have to really like watch out for, and it goes hand in hand with the Pluto square Venus, right? Where you have to watch out for kind of just taking on the wrong kind of partner, someone who might deceive you, like an energy vampire type of person, right? And then you can get all entangled in it, and the Cancer part can really want to fix the person, but they can really leech off your high spiritual energy, and you're already, karmically, like, there's lots of wounding. Is there any squares to the North Node? There's not. So yeah, that's very present, that energy. So yeah, lots of complexity in the area of love for sure. I mean, on one hand, of course, there's that need for that really solid rock. That's like a really good metaphor for the baseline, the most important, right? And the solid rock who can understand you in all your moods, and not judge you if you have like mood swings, and where you guys are able to like really communicate in a way that like communicating anger in like in a way like instead of just like having outbursts, having constructive like conversations about it. Super important. And I'm sure you could find like a free audiobook of nonviolent communication on like YouTube or something. Highly recommend. But like I said, lacking earth is very difficult, and you have to kind of go the extra mile to find the earth. So how do you find the earth when you don't have it? Well, it comes from, one is like setting routine for yourself, right? Somewhat of a routine. And really just like the step-by-step process, right? Like, so for example, like if it's related to spirituality, it's like, okay, I'm going to meditate 10 minutes every single day minimum. I'm going to set a timer for 10. And then I don't know if you're like a big meditator, but like I'm going to increase that by 2 minutes each day and stick to it. Have like agendas, like schedules. And that's even further by your vertex in the 6th house. Your doorway to higher awareness is through that service, like through that organization of your life, but also through being of service. So after that, excuse me, the need to be seen, the need to be to receive and to give, like that Leo love, and also like another part is like learning to meet your own emotional needs, right? Because like you can't just rely on someone else to give you all the love that maybe you didn't like receive. So it's like learning that, which goes to like that 8th house north node of going through like the dark night of the shadow. Going into the depths of yourself, which you're pretty much like initiated into with your moon, Mars, and Venus all squaring Pluto. Aside from that, what else? Well, I haven't even touched on like the fact that you have Mercury and Jupiter conjunct. This is a superpower you have. Jupiter in the 12th house gives you spiritual protection, which is amazing. I have it too. And it also gives you intense intuition, the ability to see past the BS and to kind of have this like built-in like BS meter, and also like through your dreams, through your meditations, through whatever you do that gets you in touch with the spiritual realm, to not only be able to like feel into it and to have, it's almost like having this like flashlight, this lantern where you can just kind of like feel your way through, but also Mercury being there in the 12th house. Mercury in the 12th house is about being able to like literally communicate with the other side. Like once you're able to like calm and get into that earth energy, that grounded energy, and ground yourself, balance yourself out, you can literally like receive downloads and literally like channel and do all that really beautiful spiritual stuff. Because Mercury and Jupiter together, also gives you, and it's in Gemini, so it's in the 12th house, it's a little bit hidden, but it still gives this like very broad outlook. So it gives you an ability to kind of like see all of the difficulties, but from like a zoomed out perspective, right? Which is super powerful. And also gives a very active mind. It gives good judgment. And what's really cool about it is that it gives a sense of humor, even about hardships. And that's like a superpower, right? To be able to look at like difficult times and have like somewhat of a sense of humor about it, like the cosmic joke, So not surprising at all. Black Moon Lilith, kind of like your shadow, the part of your chart that rules like your shadow, is in like your shadow, like what comes up. Well, it's conjunct your IC, so that would speak to like, well, loosely conjunct in the 4th house, issues with the family, of course, and childhood. But in, you know, it's in Libra, the house of relationships, and Black Moon Lilith in Libra can be energy where it's like back to the boundaries thing, you know. It's like people pleasing. Like I want, like let's say you're in a relationship. I have this cough. 1 second. So it can relate to lacking boundaries in love, you know, lacking boundaries in love, and kind of, how do I say this? Like being willing to put yourself down, because like Libra is all about balance, just to ensure that like the other person is happy, is satisfied, which is people pleasing. So that's like a big shadow. And aside from that, you know, vertex and Sagittarius also means like in, it's like kind of like your love ascendant. So it's kind of like you really come across in relationships as someone who really wants to teach your partners and broaden their horizons and stuff of that nature. And also very adventurous, very fun. And yeah. So, okay, part of fortune in Leo, I mean, you know, it's kind of just saying that, like, you know, you find your real joy when you're expressing the highest energy of Leo, which is that authentic self-expression. And in the 2nd house, you know, when you, which is like a huge part of your chart I haven't really talked about, it's about, and it relates to the earth element, it's about finding values and morals and all that stuff that you can attach yourself to, and then make all your decisions based off of that. So very important, very important, very important. And yeah, like, what else? Let's see what's going on with I'll actually show you this, because I'm gonna look at see if I see any important fixed stars. So let's see here. That's Sirius. Okay, so you have Sirius on the sun, like very close, within a degree. Midheaven, I don't see. Ascendant. Ooh, and your sun moon midpoint meets in your ascendant. So like the merging of like that Cancer and Leo is it's hard to explain. It's like they kind of come together in your ascendant, like your feminine and masculine, those two parts of you. And basically the way that you can find the highest energy of Cancer, like the nurture, you know, like the person who's there for themselves but also there for others, is, you know, highly linked to, you know, you prospering in the highest way possible. Now also, is Vulcanus conjunct the sun, you know, can create an energy that's a little bit explosive, And yeah, just one you have to kind of watch out for. So yeah, let's see. So Sirius is it is the dog. What's your it's like it's the throat of the dog. It's like a constellation. It's like the greater dog, Canis Major. And basically on the sun, it's very good for success in business, occupations connected with metals or other martial affairs. It's very good for domestic harmony, so like good relationships. So it's giving you some good relationship energy. And it says if rising, which you have it as your sun. So yeah, so it's a lucky star to have. Besides that, let's see. Okay. See if there's anything about this. Nope. So yeah, it's on your Mercury Polaris, and it gives spiritual powers to the bearer, who will be highly respected. It's a very good guide and indicator. And it gives you a really good sense of discretion, where you're really able to follow your intuition, your instincts, and clearly recognize like your aims and pursue them and achieve them. So very good stars you have. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed. Hope this was what you waited for, and congrats on winning the free reading. And yeah, very heavy chart. Would love if you would like write me something. I just can't do the like when I get like voice. I just have like so many like voice messages from people, and it's just like I'm so busy that it's just very hard to like listen to like a lot of voice messages. But yeah, when it's written, it's way more digestible. So, anyways, thank you. Thank you for supporting, and hope to see you Sunday in Cosmos. And I hope you enjoy this, and happy new moon. All right, bye bye. Ciao.